Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by 1/4 of a band with Grammy's Doves ACM CMA Awards. Out on their American-made farewell tour right now, we welcome the Golden Baritone of the legendary Country Music Hall of Fame band, the Oak Ridge Boys, our friend William Lee Golden.
Sean, it's great to be with you here today.
William, let's go beyond the mic. You've been fortunate as part of such a special band that has made an impact on country music and lives around the world. What does music mean to you?
Man, it's something that it's probably the most powerful thing in my life for is keeping me uplifted. It's something that's been a part of my life since I was a small kid. You know, my mother and my sister taught me how to play guitar when I was 6 and 7 years old, and my sister played instruments. She played guitar, mandolin, and piano, and she still does. But she taught me how to play guitar and sing harmonies. And we would sing and had a duet. We'd sing old country songs and gospel songs, and once a week we'd get to sing on Granddaddy Golden's radio show. And so it started out there. Then in high school, I sang in my first quartet, the FFA Quartet, Future Farmers of America. And then I love 4-part harmony singing. It was, when I was young, my sister and then later on my little brother joined us. We had a trio, but it was the first time singing 4-part harmony. It was in high school, and we had a bass singer, and I fell in love with that type harmony singing. And music means a lot to me. It has healing power. And I know this last year, the Oak Ridge Boys went through a lot of losses, saying farewell to our singing partner of 50 years, and then saying farewell to Dwayne's wife for 54 years on the Easter last year, and saying farewell to my oldest son in July last year, same month that we lost Joe Bonzo. It was, we went into it was a deep valley of sadness, but it was music that brought us out of that, and getting back together and singing harmonies and how it lifted up, man. I'm getting chills on my arms thinking about it. But it did. It lifted us out of that deep valley of sadness, and it has healing power. For myself, it's healing mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Music has a deep thread in my life. As a little kid singing gospel music, and then when I joined the Oak Ridge Boys, it was a gospel singing group. And we evolved, and about 9 years after I had joined, we met Jim Halsey. It was Roy Clark's manager and agent, and he took the Oak Ridge Boys and got us with ABC and MCA Records and got us to start recording country songs. And we had our first country song in 1977. But the Oak Ridge Boys have sang together for over 50 years, the four of us did. But music, again, has that healing power. So I don't know what life would be without it. When someone asked Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones recently, said, "Keith, when's the Rolling Stones going to retire?" He said, "Retiring?" He said, "Retiring would be a death sentence for me." So people that music, that you dedicate your time and your life to going where music takes you and the songs take you. The songs mean as much to us as they do people that hear it. And it's nurtured my life, music has, and the songs. And whether I'm singing with the Oak Ridge Boys or whether I'm singing with my family, I come from family singing, and when I'm off, I have sons and grandkids that are extremely talented in music and with singing. So we get together as a family and sing. But the Oak Ridge Boys, we're continuing to tour at least 75 dates a year. sometimes more. You know, we used to do twice that. We used to do 150 days every year on the road. And so music is a thing that's so deep in us that to be able to get together and sing. And we took a break at the first of this year, 2 or 3 months. But you know, it was getting back together again that plugged us back up. And it was a kind of a lonely feeling to not be able to see the guys and get together and sing. And we got together and started singing, and it's again, it's been healing and uplifting to us. And it takes us to a place that only music can take you to.
You've talked about the losses. In the past 18 months, you've lost 16 friends, family members, parts of your heart. Why has the love of your family, wife, kids, grandkids, strengthened you all these years?
Man, it's who we are. It's kind of where we come from. We come from loving families and families that nurtured us and encouraged and nurtured our musical loves and want to. You know, our family bought us instruments and nurtured us and drove us to places to be able to sing when we was young. And it's family is, and when I, you know, as we grow up, and I've made more than my share of mistakes. I've got 4 sons. One of my youngest sons, he's in Texas in college studying medicine in Austin, and his mother lives there. And anyhow, I've been married 4 times, and for some of us, the road life can be grueling, and it can be rough on certain relationships. Certain guys are like Dwayne and his wife were married 54 years, but I haven't been able to make it that long for whatever reason. And I take full responsibility for all of my mistakes and my failures in marriage. You know, I was unfaithful, and it has its consequences. So I'm not certainly not trying to run from the reality of who I am. But I've got kids, and you never divorce your kids.
Amen.
Your family is your family, and it's something that when you're away from them, you miss them, and you talk about them, and you talk to them. But again, it was their mothers were wonderful people that raised them while we were gone 150 days a year. And we were the guys that would come in on maybe Monday morning for 2 or 3 days, and then we were gone the weekend. But and then traveling out to California and the Pacific Northwest, we had gone longer periods of time. And so with some people, you know, beautiful women throughout my life at times, I accept the responsibility for my failures. Yes.
The Oak Ridge Boys video "Come On Home" was filmed at your Golden Era Plantation. Why is Golden Era special to you, especially getting hit by 2 tornadoes?
It is. It's this place has history. It goes back to the guy that built this house. He was a colonel. It was Colonel James Franklin of the Revolutionary War. And he fought with George Washington, was one of the immortal 70 that turned the British back. So he was awarded a section of land here in Tennessee, and it's out here on Station Camp Creek. But the old home was built in 1786. It was built 10 years before Tennessee was a state, and it was built 3 years before George Washington was president. So it has a lot of history, and I just kind of feel comfortable here. I grew up on a big farm in South Alabama, and I love being out in Bear Creek and out around nature. And I have a 7-acre yard here with a nice Station Camp Creek that runs across it. But this is where they had a station camp here before he built his home here. But he loved this spot, and I've loved it for 45 years now. I've been here for 45 years, and it's a peaceful place. It's a great refuge to come home to after spending several days on the road. That hurry up and wait and have one hotel out and another one. You're checking in, checking out, and you spend your days in a hustle bustle, and to come home and relax, and to be able to walk out and stand by the creek or watch the deer. And I feed deer. I feed the wildlife here. Put out a lot of food, and it's home, man. And I love looking out and seeing the deer and the wild turkeys and whatever other wildlife, rabbits and squirrels, lots of squirrels, and it's and groundhogs, hawks, all kinds of birds. It's just a wonderful place to be. Home is, and again, I've been here 45 years.
It's home.
It is. And I bought it actually when I was after my first marriage, and my sons were getting grown at that time. They were teenagers, and it was a great place to come here. And we get too loud for neighborhoods, so one of my neighbors one time, because my kids was making a lot of noise when I was out of town, they played loud music too. But this place has brick walls, and there's a whole basement, 6 rooms underground here that you can, that we had rehearsal rooms here, and my kids could play as loud as they want to out here. And so
nobody cared.
Yeah. And so that we got together in the pandemic, cut 34 old songs. I took them back to where I came from. And
wow.
But that's what family means. And it's my mother and my sister. Mainly my sister taught me a lot of these old songs. And my kids and grandkids, some of them they hadn't heard, but I taught them these songs and got them to sing harmony with me. And they played music and sang harmonies. And again, we got a bass singer and great musicians to play with us. And during the pandemic, we turned off all the negative hate on television, and we got together as a family. And I didn't watch television for 6 months there. I just couldn't be in a room where it was at. And but we got together here and started singing old songs, man. And we sang gospel songs, old-time country songs, but I took them back and sang all these old songs that I started out doing. It was a pandemic, so I just made me want to reach back to exactly who and where I'm coming from.
Music is so powerful.
Yeah.
William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys is here beyond the mic, and it's time for the Rocky Nate. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no pressure. William Lee, you're known for it, but when was the last time you shaved your legendary beard?
Man, I lost my razor about the time, right after I bought this home out here in 1980, was the last time that I trimmed my beard. For about 3 or 4 years, I used to have a little short, stubby beard. It was about a 6 or 7 day growth, with a little trimmer that I could keep it looking that way. And I used to go camping with some of these mountain man friends of mine and some artist friends of mine. And we would do primitive camping, dressing in buckskins and going out and sleeping in teepees and building campfires. And
wow.
Back there, some of them are famous frontier artists and Western artists, David Wright. We'd go camping, but he's real particular about the authenticity of primitive type stuff, and it has to be for time periods and all of that. But it was fun doing that, and those guys used to say, "Hey, is that beard gonna ever grow?" And because I was, so I thought, well, hey, it's a thought, man. And I decided one day I was just excited to see what would happen, and I just let it all go. And I remember the first year, man, that it was going some mornings I'd get up or maybe in the middle of the night, I'd walk in the bathroom, flip on the light, and I'd startle myself. It did, man, in the very beginning. But yeah, I got used to it, and I'd be lost without it now. I've had it more than half my life. I've had it, 45 years.
If you were going to be reincarnated as an animal, which animal would it be?
Wow. Would it be an eagle? Or would it be a grizzly? Would it be a grizzly?
That's a tough choice. I would choose an eagle. What's the one chore at home your wife depends on you to do?
Well, it's bringing her coffee in the mornings, because I get up before she does.
Mine is anything stinky. If it stinks, it's my job.
Well, that's my other job too. My first job in the morning is make sure that she gets coffee with the cream just right.
What's your favorite gospel song of all time?
Well, that would be Where the Soul Never Dies.
Which place you visited that a photo or painting could never capture its beauty?
Well, you got great questions here, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The one place, I don't know. I've been to a lot of great places. In fact, for a few years there, I kind of did landscape photography. I'd take my camera, and I wound up getting better cameras. I was trying to paint some for about 10 or 12 years doing art, and needed landscapes is what I was painting, and I'd need good reference, and so I kept getting better cameras, and so I carried good cameras with me. There's a lot of great places, man. Yosemite is a place that you can't capture it all, and how beautiful it is shot.
Wow.
And the Grand Tetons is another one that's all inspiring. And I love seashore shots. I know when the Oak Ridge Boys would visit President George and Barbara Bush at Kennebunkport every year, they would invite the Oak Ridge Boys as singers and our wives up to visit in for 3 days. And we would stay there with them in their home and on their compound there. Anyhow, I would take some shots around that main coastline there. They live right on the water there, and I painted a couple of paintings for Barbara, and one of them hung in the Bush Presidential Library for 7 years.
Wow. Do you prefer beaches or the mountains?
Well, again, man, they both have such a draw and appeal to me. I grew up so far south. I grew up within 1 hour from the farm. I could be on the most beautiful beaches in the world down at Pensacola Beach and Navarre Beach. There's a strip of 7 miles of nothing but national seashore there. There's nothing built there other than it's a wildlife sanctuary for certain bird species, and it's just sea oats and sand dunes and beautiful beaches. But and I got photographs of that and painted some paintings of that. But then I've also painted a Grand Teton painting. But again, there's so many wonderful and beautiful places, and we've been fortunate to travel overseas. And I used to go with my youngest son, Solomon, and take him to St. John, the U.S. Virgin Islands. I know Kenneth Chester's got a couple of homes there, but we'd go there in January when the Oaks would be on a break and spend about a week or 10 days there and get a house and take my young son there and enjoy a whole different atmosphere, but you'd work all year, and with that and Christmas tour, it would be after a Christmas tour. But I got some wonderful photographs of St. John. They got some of the most beautiful beaches in the world too.
You mentioned your first guitar earlier. What was it, and do you still have it?
I do still have it. My dad bought me a brand new 49 Gibson Echo guitar, and it's right over here. Looking at the case it's in right now. I mean, here it's over there by the grand piano.
The best meal on the road was wearing of what?
Well, occasionally we have opportunities to have wonderful dining experiences with great chefs, and then there's a lot of days you may be eating out of a tuna can. a great on the road, sometimes I'm kind of more of a meat eater. I'm a carnivore, I guess, but and I've kind of gotten more that way recently and lost a little weight, thankfully. But I've changed some of my diet and tried to take sugar out, and I've been hearing bad things about sugar. And I also have been more into protein, so a lot of days I like to get a good piece of meat, either steak or some good meat, fish. But, then there's other days that you're lucky to get a hamburger.
Food is food. Let's sneak in a couple more with William Lee Golden beyond the mic. My favorite Oak Ridge Boys song is Baby When Your Heart Breaks Down, because I use the 1-minute version to time up to news when I work overnights. What's your favorite song?
Well, naturally, everybody's favorite is Elvira. And I've always loved that song too. But for my personal favorite, I was fortunate in 1982, the Oak Ridge Boys did our first Christmas album. Eddie Raven brought a song that he wrote 7 years prior to that. And he said, guys, this may not be a regular Christmas song, but I think it would fit the project. We cut it. MCA Records released it as a single on Thanksgiving. Christmas came and went. It was going up the charts. It kept going into January. February 1st, it came a number one country song. Was a song that I sang called Thank God for Kids.
William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys is here beyond the mic. What does this one last tour that doesn't seem to have an end yet mean to you?
Well, it means that I'm getting old. And it means that I cherish every moment of every day and every sunrise that I see. It means that being able to sing every song that I can for as long as I can.
How has the fans of the Oak Ridge Boys changed your life?
Well, I was a fan of the Oak Ridge Boys before I became a member of the Oak Ridge Boys. And, I think fans are the most important key to all of us. They're certainly the boss of what's going on in concerts. If they got there, it sure would not be half the fun, but it would still be fun to sing wherever we're at. There's no one there. It's still fun to get together and sing. It's fun to get together and rehearse. It's fun to get in the building in the afternoon and warm up, sing songs together, and it gets everybody in a good mood, gets us in a good mood. So you're a long way from home, and that's healing.
How's your vision of life changed from when you first started this journey?
Well, I see life as a situation. I didn't make good grades in school, but I had a good time, got a lot of wonderful memories. But I had to go to summer school to get my diploma. I had such a good time. So, anyhow, I see that we continue to learn every day throughout life, as long as we keep our eyes and our ears open and our mind open, that we're willing to learn. Because so far I haven't met anybody that knows everything, but I've met a lot of people that know a lot of different things. And I continue to learn. Because I think about that sometimes, man. Life is a thing that we continue learning about. If we go sing a new song with somebody, I'm learning a brand new song that I haven't tried before. And so even with that, we continue learning throughout all the albums. Every song you had to learn to record it. And but life is about learning, and it's a beautiful thing about life. Because and we have to go out there to where it's at. We have to go where music can take you. We can, or either we can sit at home and hold it by ourselves, and that's not as much fun. We get enough of that anyway, because we still can't help but sing if we're all by ourselves.
William Lee Golden joins us beyond the mic for one big question. When people look back at your life and everything you've touched, what do you want them to remember?
Man, I'm just that I loved harmony, and that I brought harmony. I tried to, and that's kind of, it's a position that a lot of people may not want to be. They want to be the star of this or that, the highest singer, the lowest, or whatever. But I've always loved harmonizing, and I've tried to kind of stay in my lane and not try to push too far in the wrong directions. If I got ideas and things, I may go try it on my own or with the family. But when you're in a group, it's a collective. Everybody is there. This brings something unique to the table, so to speak. And so I don't try to be anybody else other than myself. And whatever that is, it's who I am. And I just try to be real, but I put my own feelings and my own singing, and then singing with other people. That's still what I'm feeling, is what I'm projecting.
He had to go to summer school growing up. Would either be a bear or an eagle if he could. He wants you to see the Oak Ridge Boys out on tour near you.
Sean, you're great, man. I love your questions. You're asking questions no one's ever asked me, so that's good. I've just learned something and made me think of things that I hadn't thought about today. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
I'd love to do it again sometime.
William Lee Golden, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Sean Dillon, you're a champion.
And that, my friends, is Beyond the Mic. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.